Hi boys and girls, here we are with another math video. Let's get started. We are on chapter 9, lesson 7. Our lesson today is on problem solving using logical reasoning. Let's go ahead and share our objective. Students will use logical reasoning to solve problems. So let's first talk about what logical reasoning is, and I will start with an example. I'll switch my camera over. So here you're going to notice some shapes, and we're going to talk about this in a logical reasoning way. So first of all, people use logical reasoning throughout their lives. When people encounter a problem, they have to think through the steps needed to come to a solution to that problem. In mathematics, we use it as one of many strategies to help us solve problems. Using logical reasoning helps students think through problems and plan how to solve them in a logical and efficient manner. So if you'll notice here, I put some shapes together. So Miss Tuffield made this composite shape here. Remember, a composite shape is when I have many shapes coming together to make a new shape. But it looks like some shapes are missing. Which blocks are missing? Take a moment to think about it. Right, it looks like we're missing 2 trapezoids to complete this pattern, this composite shape. If I were to put this in, it would complete my new composite shape. Now the strategy I used for that was logical thinking. That means I sat there and I kind of thought about it. Okay, it looks like this shape in the middle, this hexagon, has all the same size sides. And if one trapezoid matches each side, and I have 2 sides that don't have a shape to go with it, I'm probably going to need to match 2 more trapezoids to complete this pattern. Also, I've gone ahead and outlined the shapes for you to make it easier, but this is what we're going to do in today's lesson. We're going to start to think about what shapes can I put in to complete that pattern. And you're going to do it by first thinking about it, plan it out. What shapes do I need? What does it look like? And then you're going to use some shapes. And if you don't have these shapes at home, you're going to draw them in with a pencil and see which shape would complete that pattern. Let's go ahead and do another example. I have another shape here, another composite shape. This composite shape is made up of a rhombus, a trapezoid up here, and it looks like we are missing a shape in this corner. Now, let's use some logical reasoning. What do you think might fit there? What does it look like? So we've come across a problem, we have a missing shape, and we need to figure out what shape would fit into this new composite shape. Again, I know a rhombus on both of these sides has the same size sides. If I can fit one trapezoid here equally, and this one looks just like this one, that means if I put another trapezoid on this side, I would complete my shape. That means my missing block or my missing shape was another trapezoid. Let's get started in our math book, boys and girls. So again, we are on chapter 9, lesson 7. Our essential question is, how can I recognize two-dimensional shapes and equal shares? Problem solving and the strategy we're using today is use logical reasoning. Logical reasoning again means to kind of think about the problem in your head and plan out a way to figure it out. So in our lesson today, we're starting with a word problem, and it reads, Anna made the shape below with 9 blocks. What 4 blocks are missing? So the book has already underlined what we know for us, but this is what we're going to do. We're going to first look for the things that we know. We know that Anna used 9 blocks, and I've taught this to my class. I always like to circle those important numbers so they kind of stand out to me. And 4 of those blocks, I'm going to circle that. are missing. So what we need to find out is what 4 blocks are missing. So my first step in my problem solving strategy is to understand my problem. We already did that. We underlined and circled. This way I kind of get a really good idea of what I need to do. My step 2 is to plan this out. So I got to think to myself, all right, how will I solve this problem? What am I going to do? In this case, it looks like we're probably going to have to pull out all of those shapes and build that composite shape to solve this problem. Number 3, what will I do? I'm going to go ahead and solve. I will use logical reasoning. So that means first I'm going to think about it. I'm going to go, all right, let me see what this looks like. So I see we have a triangle, square, trapezoid, 2 more triangles. But here is my complete composite shape. I need to think about this. What do I need? How am I going to solve this? Well, if I just draw out some outlines into shapes I already know, it might make it easier for me to solve. And I know that I need to use 4 more blocks because my problem says 4 blocks are missing. I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 missing. So maybe if I fit a triangle here, a trapezoid here, and 2 squares, I would complete my composite shape and only use 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. Now I'm going to check for number 4. Is my answer reasonable? That means, does that really make sense? Did I do what I was supposed to do? Did I use 4 blocks? Let's see. It says which 4 blocks are missing. Did I use 4 blocks? Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I complete the shape? Yep, I sure did. So is my answer reasonable? Does what I did really answer that question? Does it make sense? And yeah, it looks like it does. Let's move on to the next page. Let's go ahead and practice the strategy. So now we get to do this together. Here's my problem. Angel has 6 pattern blocks. He makes the shape below. So here's a shape that Angel makes right here. 2 pattern blocks are missing. What 2 blocks are missing? The first step, remember, is to understand my problem. And the easiest way for me to understand my problem is to underline what I know, circle what I need to find out. So let's start with that. Let's underline what we know. We know that Angel has 6 pattern blocks. So we will underline that. And like I said earlier, I just like to circle those important numbers so they stand out to me, and it's easier for me to see the numbers I'm working with. Then he makes the shape below. Okay, that is something that I know, but it's not really something that's going to help me solve this problem. So I'm going to keep going. 2 pattern blocks are missing. That is definitely something that I know. I'm going to circle the word 2 because it's still a number and it's going to help me figure this out. Now, what do I need to find out? What 2 blocks are missing? All right, let's go ahead. Let's plan this out. How will I solve this problem? Well, we know today's strategy is to use logical reasoning. That means I'm just going to think about this, trying to figure it out in my head. All right, let me see. Let me think about this. Let me think about this. How am I going to solve this? All right, I know. My plan is going to be to use some pattern blocks. Now let's go ahead and do step 3. Let's solve. I will use logical thinking, logical reasoning, and I'm going to use pattern blocks to solve this problem. So I know that Angel uses 6 pattern blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are already drawn, and 2 of them are missing. So I need to think about these 2, this space right here, and which 2 shapes would fit into here. I'm going to take a moment to think about it. If I were to use only 2 blocks, 2 shapes, which 2 shapes would fit in there? While you're thinking about it, you might want to pull out some shapes, or if you don't have any, just draw some with your pencils. And I go, okay, well, I see a corner here. What if I were to, my blocks are bigger than the picture, so it's going to be a little harder to model this. But what if I were to do this with my trapezoid like this and my rhombus like this? I wonder if that would fit. Well, it kind of looks like it does, doesn't it? So let's draw the shape of the rhombus and the trapezoid. So here I have my rhombus, here I have my trapezoid. So let's see, number 4, check my answer for reasonability. Is this reasonable? So the problem said 2 pattern blocks were missing, 1, 2. So yeah, I did use my 2 pattern blocks. So does my answer make sense? Did I complete Angel's composite shape by using only 2 pattern blocks? Yeah, I did. So it looks like my missing shapes were a rhombus and a trapezoid. Boys and girls, we don't have a talk math today, so we'll go straight into our lesson. Here's what you're doing on your own. You're going to apply the strategy. That means you're going to use what we learned with logical reasoning and do it on your own. I'll read through them for you, and then you guys can start working on this on your own. Number 1, Cadence made the shape below using only trapezoids and triangles. So that's definitely something we know. You need to underline that. How many blocks are missing? This is what you would circle. That's what we need to find out. It looks like they kind of helped us out. They said, well, Cadence used only trapezoids and triangles. She used 3 trapezoids. What you need to find out is how many triangles. So what you're going to do is look at this composite shape and see where you can fit 3 trapezoids. That's what we know. So I might want to put one here, I might want to put one here and one here, and then how many triangles will fit in that space. This is for you to do on your own. Number 2, Kendall made the shape below using triangle blocks. How many triangles are missing? Same thing, you're going to draw those missing triangles and then write down how many. Next page, we're going to review the strategies. Some other strategies you could use, in addition to logical reasoning, are to act it out. So maybe you can use the shapes. That's what we mean by act it out. You can draw a diagram, which is what we've been talking about. Draw them with your pencils, see what shapes would work. Number 3, Lynn covers this pattern block with the same 6 pattern blocks. Listen to that one. Lynn is using the same 6 pattern blocks. Which blocks did she use? So my shape is a hexagon. Which 6 pattern blocks, and they have to be the same ones, would fill this in? You're going to have to draw a diagram, so draw it in, and then write down which ones she used. Don't forget to underline what you know, circle what you need to find out. You write that answer here. You're going to do the same for number 4. Mary put 2 triangles together to make a new shape. How many sides does the new shape have? So I have these 2 triangles, and if I bring them together, so let's see. This is one triangle, here's the other one. If I bring them together, now I have a new shape. How many sides does this new shape have? Go ahead and draw it and number those sides. Number 5, Kevin made a shape. Kieran took 3 blocks away. Draw lines to show what 3 blocks are missing. Underline what you know, circle what you need to find out, and then go ahead and draw in those shapes. Boys and girls, that's it for our math lesson today. I will see you again next time.